Hi, everybody. This is Rob Rivera with Who's On First. I have a guest here, Scott Kennedy. He was one of my instructors at the Harry Wendelstedt Umpire School.
My name's Scott Kennedy. I met him as an instructor down at the Harry Wendelstedt School for Umpires in Daytona Beach. What year was that you were even there?
Well,
I remember
buddy,
a ton of.
you know what? Let me tell you something. I got a little, look what I got. Look what I got.
Oh, my goodness.
2003. 2003.
Whew, 18 years ago. Wow,
It gets
super
better. It gets
there
better.
You go. There's enough.
There's a young guy in there.
That's awesome. I have all mine. I have all mine in a scrapbook that I'm just waiting to get. As soon as I'm finished getting off the field, I'm gonna get it all framed and do me like a big man wall or something. It's gonna be crazy. But I did teach at Harry's school for 8 years. I was in minor league baseball for 10. Worked various postseason championships and all-star games, and got to work the futures game. I think that was in 2003 up in Chicago at the White Sox Stadium, and that was a good time. And went to the Arizona Fall League for a little bit and got some couple of stints with big league baseball for spring training. They were taking a look at me, but life kind of got in the way, and I could do the math on where the pairings were as far as who was already in AAA before I got there that was going up and down, like the Rob Drakes and the Chris Gucciones and the Lance Barksdales and those people and whatnot. And I was way down the list. They were just, and they got in before me. So it was a whole timing thing on my issue. And when the big league signed a new contract, I knew I was, I think they might have hired one. So I knew I had at least another 5 years before that big league contract was out. So, I took a knee at the goal line. I had twin girls that were 2 at the time that I decided to take my knee. So I wanted to be a dad and wanted to be the husband, and I was missing things. And if you're doing the fall league back then, it was up until Thanksgiving, and then I stayed until Christmas, and then a week later, Dad's back down in Daytona for 5 weeks, and everybody thinks, oh, Daytona, it's a big party. It's like, as you know, I mean, it's 6 days a week, and that 7th day that we're off on Sunday, we need a break.
Where are you located at?
Louisville, the metropolis, Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby, the fastest 2 minutes in sports. And if you've never been to the Derby, you need to put it on your bucket list just to say you've been at least once, if you can make it here.
Yeah, I'm in Ocala, Florida, dead central Florida. My son's 17. He got into baseball for a quick minute, and we came down here to Florida 2015. And one day he says, "Dad, I want to swim," and he got really good at it. He made varsity in his freshman year. And all of a sudden this year now he's like, yeah, I don't want to swim anymore. And I'm like, you don't want to swim? So he's like, I want a guitar. And I'm like, all right, well, 3 electric guitars later, a ukulele, a this, or that. And I'm like, whoa. And then my daughter, who's Miss Artist, it's amazing stuff these kids do. All right.
As long as you don't push them.
Oh yeah, no, I tell them it's up to you. I can give you all the equipment. I can give you all the lessons. I say, I can't give you what we say ganas. I can't give you the guts. I can't give you the gusto. That's on me. That got nothing. They got nothing to do with me. But what's this heart there with the baseball? What is that all about?
I got a little background that for Umps Care Charities, we do a lot of Zooms for Umps Care Charities. I was on the board of directors for them. Basically, it's the Major League Baseball Umpires. It's their official charity that they run. Needy children that's in foster care. We provide Build-A-Bear workshops in major league cities, and these are to the critically ill children in the children's hospitals where the umpires come in. And like you go to St. Louis, and the St. Louis mascot, Cardinal mascot shows up and things like that. And the umpires get to spend time with the family and the kids, and these kids pick out Build-A-Bears and dress them up in outfits, and they take some pictures and give away some baseballs, and they think that's really cool. And I know it's a humbling experience for the umpires. And one of the reasons why I got involved with it was before Umps Care was even started. My situation, my girl showed up almost 2 months premature while I was on the road umpiring in the minor leagues. And I came home, and Branch Rickey, I had one that was okay, and then one that was kind of struggling, and tubes and all this stuff. And they were 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds when they came out. So they were in the NICU for forever. But I had Teddy Barrett's, the Laz Diaz, the Jeff Nelsons, the Sam Holbrooks. I had people calling me when I was home and I was in AAA, and it wasn't Umps Care Charities. They were just calling because they knew the situation. As you know, the umpire community, and actually the officiating community, is a tight-knit group. And just them reaching out, word had gotten around, and
Right.
people just reaching out. Hope I'm praying for you. Hope everything's good, man. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers. And I mean, even the PCL, the office called almost daily, checking on the girls and whatnot. So that's when Umps Care was really there. It was when those umpires that were at the big league level and the AAA guys going up and down. That's why I wanted to stay involved with it and get involved with it. Anybody wants to check out the website, it's called umpscare.com. Nobody knew me didn't know me that well and whatnot.
Right.
But they stayed in touch, and it just showed that they really cared. So it's a good program. I appreciate you asking about it.
No, that's amazing. I never thought it would be like that.
Right.
I don't like people playing around with kids. Don't disappoint
Right.
a kid. You don't want to give a
Right.
grown adult an autograph as a baseball player. It's fine. You see that
Right.
12-year-old there, give him an autograph. Don't be a jerk. But
Yeah.
I got some real funny stories with you, Scott.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know if you remember. Remember we used to do the lunch menu? Remember
Yeah,
the lunch menu?
Oh yeah.
What?
Barbecue
Right?
sandwiches, 2 hot dogs, terms. I remember all that stuff.
When you said, "Hey,
Tell 'em.
you want the lunch special?" Okay, if you did this, okay, that means you want 5 lunch specials. Okay, so
Yeah.
Scott would count, and we always had the one guy every day ordered a hot dog, hot dog, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
This one day we decided we were going to flip it on Scott, and he turned around, and the guy who always ordered the hot dog was the only one that ordered the lunch special.
Ordered special.
Yeah. And he was sitting there going, "All right, you're gonna be some hungry people." And then all of a sudden you said hot dog, and 100 of us raised one hand.
I remember that.
And you took the menu and said, "That's it. Nobody's eating today."
Nobody's eating nothing. No, y'all eat nothing. Y'all go.
That was starving. Y'all starving.
Oh man,
That
y'all
was
cracked me
funny.
up. I do remember that, and
That
it
was a good one.
I never lost that job for a lot of years, because at first, being new and stuff, my first year was in '99, so I had to do the role, and I liked doing the role, and I liked doing it every day, because the other part was I was the buffer. If somebody wasn't in class, then I had to go find out, where are they?
Wow.
Are they down at the Daytona Police Department because they had too much to drink last night, or did they oversleep? And a couple times I'd come in on somebody and they were ready to quit, ready to hang it up. So then I would do my part and try to go into people skills mode and talk them into staying. That was one of the reasons why I like to do the role. But then by the end, like with you, and you send me the message, "Do you remember me?" Yes, I do. I remember names. "Hey, do you remember me from the class of Harry Wendelstedt from the class of 2000? I go, "I know your face. I do remember, but I can't remember your name." And when they tell me their name, I'm like,
there it is.
I got it.
Did you remember losing the dollar because of me? You were trying to get me to curse. And you said, "I don't understand how a crazy Puerto Rican from the Bronx is not going to curse." And you were sitting in the dugout and the pitch came in. I said, "Ball." And you went, "Don't squeeze him." And I just went, "What the heck is going on here?" And then all of a sudden, strike. There you go. You finally poked a hole in your mask. And I was like, "You know what?" And I looked over at you and I said, "Enough." And you said, "No, it's not enough." And I was like, "Whoa, what the heck is going on here?" And you came out, "You've been squeezing them the whole time." I was like, "There's only been 2 pitches." You were like, "You better poke a hole that fast and see what the hell you're doing." And I was like, "You're done." And you went, "I'm not done." And you went into the dugout and took a helmet and punted it into center field. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And you were like, "What do you guys say now, fat boy?" And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, I got my hand, and you were like, I said, "Get off the field." You said, "I'm not done yet." And you took the bats and you threw them into the field.
Oh boy.
You took a bucket of baseballs, you threw them in. "How about now?" I was like, "You're done." You said, "I'm not done." And then you took the garbage can, you dumped it onto the mound, and you left the garbage can at home plate. And you walked up, you go, "Now I'm done, fat boy." And I was like, "Get off the field." And you turned around and walked away. And I was like, "What the what's going on here?" I'm like, "What happened?" Well, we finished the inning and I walked out and you were standing on the sideline and you were like, hey. And I'm like, "What the hell was all that about?" You were like, "Man, you cost me $1. I was trying to get you to curse." I was like,
I was trying to go above and beyond.
And you said, I thought at one point, I thought you were going to punch me. I was like, oh man, I locked up when you said, but no, I'm like, no. I was like, I'm about to take a swing at you. And you said you were, well, I was ready to give it the old, because I was ready to deck you at that point, man.
I'm telling you. Well, and I had a couple people, I've had people tell me that throughout the years. They're like, oh my God, you were so funny. You were so funny, blah, blah, blah. And you were great. You're like, we liked the way you taught. We liked how you did it and all that stuff. But God, when you got mad in those ejections, like you were pissed, like you were scary. And I'm like, I wasn't even mad though. I was just role playing. I was like, hey, just acting. It's all good. I'm not really mad. That was one of my key signature moves was to take the trash can from the dugout and see how far. Usually it was to see how far I could chuck it over, if I could chuck it up to home plate, because it was those 55-gallon drum trash cans that are those big gray ones that are heavy. And I was like, it was all I had to get it up to home plate. I mean, and I probably threw my back out a few times, but I mean, I was telling people at umpire school, like John Tumpain, Corey Blazer, Dan Bellino, Mark Ripperger, all these guys. I'm like,
Mark was on my field.
I remember him 2003. And I'm going, you guys are either going to be on my crew or pass me when you come through the minor leagues, because you guys are good. And
are you guys checking like the gloves and the hats and all that in the college level?
Not yet. But when I saw it this year, I go, there's another thing. People are like, what do you think about this? What are you going to do? I mean, I can either take this direct deposit, which is very nice, and keep getting that, or I can put my foot down going, I'm not checking their glove. If that's what you all want me to do in order for me to get paid, I'll do it.
Baseball is the only sport that a sacrifice is truly accepted. You get that runner from third and a sacrifice fly to right field. It's, oh man, you moved the runner over. Wow. It's just, everybody loves that. You're like, wow. And I'm sitting there going, but he got put out. It's an out. But he moved the runner over. And you're like, wow, he really sacrificed. I was like, wow, that's really loved, You know what I'm starting to see now? The other thing is the color of the glove. I remember us talking about it in school. We never had any issues with the color of the glove, and it's starting to pop up. I've seen it twice this season. Is the color of the glove, and it's becoming a little bit of a issue. And the other one is it came out twice this year, is the catcher scooping up the ball or holding the ball with the mask.
With the mask,
detached equipment
violation. Equipment.
Yeah. And when my buddy called me, he goes, Rob, that's bull. And I'm like, listen, man, there's even more to that. And he goes, what? And then I explained to him, it's a triple on a hit ball, it's a double on a thrown ball, and it's a one pitch, it's one base on a pitch ball. And he was like, say what? And I'm like, oh boy. And he's just like, he's like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, man.
And that was the other part I was talking about with our officials, and even at the high school level, how the whole national federation is begging for officials to get signed up and come out. And I said, there's a shortage. There is, and some of it is because of physical aggression coming off the field or off the court. But the other part is there's so many teams, there's so many leagues now. I mean, 8U, 9U, 10U. It used to be 7 and 8-year-olds played together, 9 and 10-year-olds played together, 11 and 12-year-olds played together, 13 through 15 played together, and these were Parks and Recs teams. This is how come we have a shortage. Is a team's paying $4,000 for an entry fee, and they've got 10 teams in there. We're looking at $40,000 in entry fee, and we're paying the umpires $35. Well, I got to rent the field. How much is it really costing you to rent out a four diamond sport turf park for a weekend? I get it. Let's say it's $1,000 a day. So you just spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with your championship, and you got $4,000 in field fees, and then you got the little fake diamond gold rings for them for that are $3 a piece. So those things, that's the shortages, because umpires don't want to come out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours and keep getting plunked and take the abuse for $35, $45 a game. It's kind of you get what you pay for. But if you need to incorporate the umpire fees into your entry fees, and a lot of things I say to the high schools as well, just because of guys that I know that coach. It's the same thing. They're like, man, our budget's tight. We very rarely do they get an umpire increase at the high school level after so many years. But the problem is we're not budgeting for umpires. We're not budgeting for referees at both
Right.
sports, basketball, baseball, pick the sport, of all the amenities that you've had to buy. And baseballs aren't cheap, which I get that, you know, and all the stuff isn't cheap. It's not for free, but you know, if you don't account for it and you don't, you know, like, oh, we can't,
Budget,
man,
if you don't
you know,
budget for it, yeah.
yeah. And I mean, we got six varsity coaches. I'm sure 4 of them aren't volunteers. I'm sure they're getting paid something by the school. So there's a budget for that. It's the same thing in basketball. We got a shooting shirt. We have a travel top. All that stuff's not cheap. Now it's like, hey, the basketball officials are looking for fees, but I know we're not talking about basketball on who's on first, but I'm just saying that's why there's official shortage. That's one of the
No,
reasons. We have too many games. I mean, you get what you pay for, and you know, we have umpires, and again, I don't know everybody's situation, and that's not knocking them. And if they
right.
need to work the games and because they love the game and this, that, and the other, I totally respect that decision. When you're working a doubleheader and you're working 14 innings and you're only getting $100 for the doubleheader or 125, you know, that's, again, they may need the 125, but I said for your time and for your training and for your effort and for what you're keeping order on the field for that long a time, what these teams are paying to get in, the fees should be increased as well, instead of the people that are putting on the tournament. A lot of times, if they don't have the training, now you go out there and you just hire somebody and they lose all control. Like, how many videos have we seen on social media where the umpire just walks off the field or back talks and says something because he didn't have the proper training? So
Right.
now there's a huge controversy, and who do we always blame when something gets out of control or something's gone wrong? It's, well, the umpires didn't do their job.
It's a rough business.
I'm telling you, it's not as easy as everybody thinks when they're sitting on the couch eating pork rinds and drinking Big Red and saying, "Man, how come I'm not out there? I could do that. That's easy. That ain't hard to do."
I was in Pennsylvania, and I was doing a clinic in Pennsylvania, and we had a reporter come by, and he says, I was interested in this umpire clinic, and I said, yeah. So he was interviewing. So he goes, you mind if I do a little story? I said, no problem. So he did his story, and he was going around talking to people. Well, you know, what are they doing? What do they like about baseball, stuff like that. And I said, hey, listen, why don't you deal with it firsthand? So we sit there, we take this guy, and we put him behind the plate, and we give him a quick, hey, this is a strike, and this is ball. You just ball and step back, and then stand up. Okay. So we're sitting there, and he gets the first pitch, and he just freezes. And I go, well, what you got, Blue? And he's like, well, that looked like a strike. So why don't you call it? And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, strike. No, what do you mean? Okay, maybe strike. What is that? So I was like, is it a strike or is it a ball? And he goes, well, it's a strike. Well, then I say, hey, thanks. And I turn around and Jimmy goes, what do you mean it's a strike? You let him tell you what the call is? What kind of crap is this? Well, this guy's face is turning about 5 shades of red. Well, we go, okay, we let him go. And the next pitch comes in, and he goes, ball. We're like, ball? I'm like, ball? Are you sure? Are you positive? Because it sounded like a question to me. It looked like a strike from here. Is it a ball? So he goes, yeah, it's a ball. And he goes, oh, good. Jimmy goes, good job. Don't let him talk to you. Don't let him. We're just getting this guy. And he gets behind the plate, and I tell my pitcher, listen, just bunk him. Just hit him. And I said, when he hits you, I want you to drop the bat and go out there. Well, he gets plunked, and he goes out there. He drops the bat, boom, and he's standing at home plate. And I go, what are you doing? You got to break that up. And he goes, hey, fellas, cut it out. Well, about 4 or 5 pitches. Yeah, cut it out. About 4 or 5 pitches, he comes back, and I said, how'd you do? And he goes, man. He goes, that's tough. I was like, yeah. I said, and imagine you being in Yankee Stadium, Yankees versus Boston, okay? And not only in the bottom of the 9th inning, but the whole game, you're going to get around 300 pitches. And let me tell you something, buddy, you better get them right. And if you don't, there's a problem. And they're going to come out here with a knife, a spoon, and a fork, and they're going to eat your lunch. I was like, so you be ready. Yeah. He goes, this is tough. And I was like, and we're just practicing. Listen, I appreciate you being on the show. And so where can people reach you at usually?
They can go on there for Umps Care, check it out. And you can be I do the minimum recurring donation for both groups. I think one's $25 and one's $50 a month. That's not the minimum, but that's what I have mine set as. But I'm on social media. Facebook is Scott Kennedy. It's my big ugly mug on there, and Instagram is, I think it's Scott.Kennedy25. That's what I'm on. I have TikTok. I'm not on TikTok yet. I just watch TikTok because that thing's addictive. I can sit there and watch that for about an hour. But anybody wants to email me, it's real simple. It's Scott Kennedy and the number 1 at att.net. Scott Kennedy 1 at att.net. But if you email me, give me a little bit. I work, I travel, I got stuff to do. I may not be able to get back to you that same day, but I will reply, as long as it's not a big Harry Potter novel play that bases were loaded and ground ball here, and then then I'm still scrolling, and it's 2 hours later and I'm still scrolling as to and I always encourage them to look it up and say, hey, I had this play, here's the rule that I found and that I would apply. Is this correct? Right. Or is there something that I'm missing? And traveling, I take a rule book with me because there's always another rule that I didn't have. And I'm always constantly trying to stay in the rule book so I don't get caught off guard.
The one thing that has irked me in the past and is that you'll get the umpire in the stands. The guy who is umpire and he's in the stands. Yeah. And it's happened to me. I'm sitting in the stands and the umpire, oh, that's a strike, boom. And hey, Rob, what do you think? I'm like, what happened? Oh no, I didn't see it. If you're not in the field, you're not an umpire. All right.
It's all about Scott. Kids.
Yes, sir, man. Because remember those kids, they grow up, they're 12 now, man, but they grow up to be 20-something-year-old. And you don't want to get pulled over by a 26-year-old state trooper that remembers you dejecting them.
Right.
I remember you. Oh, you're getting a double ticket. Well, listen, like I tell everybody all the time, guys, keep on swinging because every strike gets you closer to that next home run. Scott, thank you for being on. I appreciate it so much. And I'll see you when you get your little venture going on, your next venture going on. We'll chit chat. We'll chop it up again about that one.
Perfect. That sounds good, man. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.
If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?